Good evening, staff, council, mayor, and citizens. David Liddy, resident of Concord for 12 years, business owner off of Monument Boulevard, proud Rotarian and youth advocate that works at the grade schools. We just were at Silverwood Elementary doing a map painting last week, and all through the high schools, through Mount Diablo High School, Ignacio Valley High School, and we've seen, as we are in the schools doing works, the devaluing of what's going on at the schools because of the flavored tobacco and the youth availability to that. So I want to stress, thank you very much, staff, for doing what you did and taking everything and put together such a great presentation for council to make a decision on, and in the police department for being so prepared for when the state law went into effect to actually get the enforcement put together within the resources that they have to do the job, heedless of what we do here for tonight. So kudos to our police department and staff for doing what they did to get us prepared. So the key, I think, is please keep the minimum pack and price requirements, because 80 to 90%, depending on which study you look at, 80% of smokers start underage. I did, we all did, because it was cool. You started underage and you groomed through. The tobacco industry, big tobacco, spent $7.2 billion discounting dollars to retailers, discounting coupons in 2021 alone, just to keep their cash cow going, which is the multi-flavors and all kinds of things. So think of the amount of money that they're spending to keep this pipeline going the way it is. So those are two key things. If you price things out of the range of youth, they're going to stop really wanting it. They might go black market, they might try and get it, but it's going to reduce it. It's known to reduce the usage. Please strike the hookah exemption. Focus on number one again. It's just a grooming place for young men and women to try a new behavior, to maybe not have a tobacco-flavored one, to have it flavored in those infantile flavors that we hear of. Those are not traditional hookah experiences. They're not. That's the same thing with cigarillos, cigars, you name it. If you go online, you'll love the names of what's going on. This is groomed to get young men and women to start doing something at an earlier age. And then lastly, I was going to say add the enforcement part of it, but we already have it. The compliance checks are already in place because the state law is in place. So please vote for this, beef it up a little bit, make sure you stick with keep the discounts out, the pack sizes up, strike the hookah exemption, and thank you very much for your time.
Hi everyone, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, and staff. My name is Christian Aguirre. I work with Rainbow Community Center, and I'm the Adult and Family Program Director there, and I have also worked with the youth program previously. I want you to consider the minimum price strategies that have been shared, especially to make sure that adult and youth have an easier route to quit smoking. It is Mental Health Month, and Pride Month is coming up too, so I want to encourage you to think about that as well. The mental health component is a lot of our youth use substance to fight depression and anxiety, and just from connecting with youth, that even when I've gone to Safeway here in Concord or outside on, where do I live again? On Port Chicago, at a liquor store, you know, they've asked me at 9 a.m. if I could buy them cigarettes. And for me, you know, it's really important that we bring this to light, because it's happening in the city, and especially when they're using different strategies to, you know, have youth purchase this low-cost items. I just want you to take that into consideration when you make a decision. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Esteemed members of this Concord City Council, respective individuals, my name is Alina Noguera, and I stand before you today on behalf of the Social Justice Club at Mount Diablo High in a sense of urgency and a plea for justice. We are facing an imminent threat: the easy access to tobacco products that is robbing us of our health, our potential, and our futures. Let me share a story. In the summer of 2021, my world was shattered when I received news that one of my closest friends had succumbed to an overdose of fentanyl. It was a tragic loss that left a void in our lives and exposed the insidious nature of addiction. As I delved deeper into the circumstances surrounding this loss, I discovered a harrowing link between the unrestricted availability of tobacco and the easy access to these harmful products. You see, she didn't start with fentanyl. She started with vape and other flavored tobacco products that were sold at our school and then slowly progressed to other forms of opioids. Fentanyl was the last stage. Tobacco was just provided entry. Tobacco, like a silent predator, preys on the vulnerable and impressionable minds. In other words, teenagers. It infiltrates our lives through a multitude of avenues, paving the way for addiction and irreparable damage. This pervasive issue in connection between the tragic loss of my friend and the rampant accessibility of tobacco products cannot be ignored any longer. The data speaks volumes. Countless high school students admit to experiencing with tobacco. 3 out of 4 MDUSD juniors say that vapes are fairly easy to get, a clear indication that our current measures are woefully inadequate. This council owes it to our youth, our community, and to the students of color who are more susceptible to falling into a spiral of addiction. We cannot rely solely on the individual responsibility when it comes to tobacco use. As students, we face constant advertising and social pressures that tempt us to try dangerous habits, and just saying no is sometimes near impossible. By implementing comprehensive licensing regulations, we can reduce the accessibility of tobacco products in our communities and, most importantly, our schools, stopping the beginning of a lifelong addiction before it even starts. I can confidently say that at our school, vaping and tobacco use is a very prevalent issue. Just step into a girl's bathroom or behind the science building. It is time to seek justice for youth, to protect from the predatory tactics of the tobacco industry. And with that, I sincerely hope that this council imposes stringent regulations for the tobacco retailers, ensuring that these retailers are being held accountable to the full extent of the law. For upholding age restrictions and preventing illegal sales to minors. So therefore, protect youth, not tobacco retailers. I yield my time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ananya Panamaneni, and I am a high school student as well as a member of the California Emerging Leaders Council for the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network. So as a high school student, tobacco usage is a growing issue that I've seen among my peers and in my community. For example, whenever I go to one of the bathrooms at my school, there's always a group of kids vaping or smoking in there. And a survey was conducted by my school newspaper revealing that somewhere between 31 and 70% of the student body at my school vapes or uses a tobacco product. And from my experience, there are 2 main factors that are incentivizing youth to use tobacco products, and those are flavors and low prices. And unfortunately, there are loopholes in Concord's legislation currently that allow tobacco retailers to exploit both of those factors in their favor to target youth. And so that's why it's crucial to first ban the sale of all flavored tobacco products, including removing the exemption for hookah lounges, because having such exemptions gives off the wrong message to youth and the public in general, that somehow these products are less harmful even when they carry the same risks as any other flavored tobacco product. And second, it's also crucial to implement a minimum price and minimum pack size for tobacco products, because currently tobacco is cheaper than candy. Right now, someone could walk into any one of the multitude of stores in Concord that sells tobacco products and buy a pack of 5 cigarillos for less than $1 or $2. It has been recommended that there's a $10 minimum price for cigarettes by medical experts such as the U.S. Surgeon General. So when the medical experts themselves are pointing out the need for this, it doesn't really make sense for Concord to have such low prices for youth to have access to these products. It's obvious this is a strategy being used by tobacco retailers to entice youth who wouldn't want to spend their limited pocket money on tobacco products if they were more expensive. And many of the tobacco retailers here today themselves have pointed out that many of their sales are from these lower price ranges. And that's why it's been proven that just a 10% increase in the price of cigarettes would reduce smoking among underage youth by 6 to 7%. So to conclude, action needs to be taken in order to protect the youth of Concord from falling into lifetimes of tobacco addiction. Thank you.
Thank you very much.